everybody. How you doing tonight? Just making some last minute lighting changes. It's not the greatest in here, and I look like I'm in a room that's had things explode with it, which in a way it has. Anyway, I'm Sharon. Welcome to Surviving Together. We're going to talk about feelings tonight. Feelings and where do they come from? But we have Janet. It's great to see you. Jen and I were talking earlier. She's helping me with some writing. Gypsy Daisy, welcome. It's great to see you. Kristen, oh, I'm so glad you're here. Tree Hugger, yay. Matrix Rabbit, Davey. Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing tonight? How was everyone's day? Hey, Chris, how you doing? So, I don't know about you guys, but it has been a hell of a week. I have been all over the place, and I haven't really done anything or talked with anybody about anything specific, dealt with anything identifiable, and yet my emotions have been everywhere, absolutely everywhere. Sandy, where's Sandy? Oh, there you are. So good to see you. So glad everyone can make it tonight. So I don't know about you guys. Yesterday, it seemed like everybody was having emotional issues. I was wholly one of them. First, I have to say, my body absolutely hates me. It just absolutely hates me. Female issues, IUD was supposed to solve, and my body still hates me. I give up. I absolutely give up. Menopause, please come early. It's all I can ask for now. But this room looks like things exploded because I have been working hard today in here. I got very little actual work done, the thing that pays me. But I thought it was important for me, at least while I was moving and doing something and actually getting things done, I needed to stay on that train. I don't know about you guys, but once I start, if I stop, I probably won't pick something up again. Especially the last month or so, maybe even a few months, since I've tried to take my head out of the sand and really deal with things. There's a few things that have been hanging over my head that are just really big projects that I've wanted to get done, this office being one of them. I've given up my room as a constant. That's just, eventually I'll get there, but it's just constantly a mess. At least it's only me in there. So here I have gotten all the paperwork off my desk. I need to get a trophy or something that they do Carol has the tiara. I need a meeting, and Tommy's got the trophy. Needs something for when things go right. Put your heads together. Any ideas? Let me know. I did not do that painting. Do you mean, okay, I can never figure out. The one that's actually hanging on the wall? No, I did not. That I got in, I think I picked that up in Curacao. And I absolutely fell in love with it. That the inside is almost like an acrylic background, and that they continued onto the wood frame. I have, oh, I used to have some nunchucks. I don't have them anymore. I've got my belt. A skull, maybe? No, my son has many of those. I definitely, I should raid his, I should raid downstairs. He's got, ooh, oh, that broke a horn. I can't use that one. Darn it. Yeah, the one that's still wrapped up, that painting, I didn't paint that either. A wonderful lady on Cayman Brack painted that, and my friend convinced her to sell it to her. You make skulls out of resin, really? How interesting. I My brain has gone blank as to how you would do that. Do you, are they molds or something? My kid, my kid is really cool. I I so want to show you a picture of him, but that's not such a good idea. I have to tell you this though. I have to complain for a mold. Oh, molds. You do them out of molds. That's really neat. Do you make the molds yourself? And how big are we talking? Are we talking like hand-sized skulls or life-size skulls? He's making you one, really? Oh, neat. I can't wait to see it when it's done. I may have to get you to make one for my son. Um, he graduates in May. I think like May 10th is his last actual day of school or something. And then they walk on the 13th or something like that. So, yeah, he's a senior this year. So, I think that he would really, from 3 inches to like 7 inches, he'd love that. He's got so much space down there to put things on because he has my desk actually. The desk I have is a conference table. It's functional. Eventually, maybe I'll get a real desk up here. Uh, that one is huge. It's an L-shaped desk with a hutch, and by the time I went to go get it to move it into my office, A, it really doesn't fit up here, and B, he had like 4 monitors and his whole gaming system set up, and I gave in. I said, okay, a royal scepter or an orb. I have to remember, somebody remind me, yours is going to have sparkles in it? Oh, that's neat. We did pick up a really cool one from Disney, and I think we were like the back alley of Harry Potter or something. That would have been Universal, actually, right? Um, find the molds, you'll make them. I have no idea where to find. Oh, you mean about finding a royal scepter and orb? Let me go. I need to go hunting in his room. Yeah, I'll go hunting in his room, see what I can find, and I'll bring some options, and we'll vote. Okay. Um, Also, I want your opinions on Saturday's time. Does that work for everybody? Do you think I should move it a little bit? I am totally flexible. I'm thinking of adding a Sunday for maybe people who can't make it on Saturday, maybe doing that in the morning or late in the evening so Australia can catch. I'm not real sure, but I want to make sure that we can get as many people as possible. I was very jealous of Reese and how quickly she was able to grow her channel. And here's why. And I know this morning Tommy was talking about growing for growing's sake. I only want to grow because I want to reach more people. And I want more people to be able to feel what you guys feel in this space. It will in time. I know I'm not patient. I was not blessed with that virtue. And I want everything to happen now. Getting my life in order is probably a good one to start with, right? And I'm going to start weaning off my meds. That's definitely something I want to do. And there are some certain things I wanted to get done. My resume, my desk, and making sure I was all caught up on, like bills and communications and, things like that I needed, and just have my office in order. And I'm getting there. I'm almost there. I had made the kids do the closet and get that all organized. So we're getting there. And then I will feel like I can actually start backing off on my depression meds. I'm never going to be in a perfect place for it, right? I mean, I'm never going to feel like I'm okay. And if I'm feeling like I'm okay, I don't know, do you just continue on like that? I've been on for so long that I really just want off of them. I don't know. I don't know how, I don't know how I'm going to feel without them, but I've been on them for 25 years. And I got to think with the psilocybin treatments at the back end of that, taper off everything, have some psilocybin treatments. I think I'll be good to go. I really want this stuff out of my body. If I don't absolutely have to have it. Matrix, you're freaking out over being reviewed by SSA. Is it an interview? Are they doing it in person or on the weekends? 3 seems to be busy for you on the weekends. Okay. Yeah, taper off. So I definitely will, Matrix. I talked to my doctor about it last time I was with her in the visit, and I told her I wanted to taper off that. And I also wanted to try and taper off my Lyrica. I don't know how that's going to go. I know I need to be in much better shape. I need to have a lot more musculature in my core and my butt in order to do that. But even if I can get down to 1 a day instead of twice a day or 1 every other day, I don't know who else I was said that they actually get muscle twitches as well, and they've been on Lyrica for a while, or maybe they were on gabapentin. But I kind of suspected it was from that, and I'm pretty sure it is. And it's not a big deal now, but I wonder how quickly it might increase, and that makes me nervous with going as we age, right? Hey, Misha, how you doing? Good to see you. Christy. Oh, it's so wonderful you're here. I was just talking about how I want to get off some things. Yeah, you're right, Kristen. Your brain just, your brain is the way it is. I keep forgetting I can pop things up here. If I have to be on them, I have to be on them. I've increased my doses and added some on too. And I just feel like I'm in a much better place now. I'm doing better with actually handling things versus just going, along and hoping for the best type of thing. So I think maybe I can do it this time. I've never tried to wean off in the past. If my emotions got out of whack, we just added more or, changed it up. You got to deal with emotions sometimes, right? So we'll see. I am on Cymbalta and Wellbutrin. I take Wellbutrin slow release, extended release, and then the Cymbalta we just added we just added that one a few years ago. And I forget what I was taking along with that before. But the Wellbutrin I've been off long. I'm going to have a sip of a drink. If it's triggering to anybody or bothering anybody, please let me know. But it's just been a hell of a time, so I'm having a small glass of wine. This is all I have. And work decides to email me. Isn't that lovely? Okay. Dr. Joseph on here can help you if you want medical advice. Huh. I will check it out. I don't think I've ever heard from him. Is he actually responds to you and stuff? I'm thinking. Walk, yeah. I started walking and then it got to 30 degrees. And I said, I can't do this. I really want to walk first thing in the morning. Um, Plus, the neuroscientist Andrew Huberman was talking about getting sunlight right at first thing in the morning, even if it's cloudy and overcast. It just means you need to walk for longer, like 15 or 20 minutes, which I have a huge block that I walk around, and it takes me about 20 minutes anyway. So even if it was bright and sunshiny, I'd still do the same walk. I just froze my patootie off last time I did it, and I get really bad headaches if my ears get cold. Don't ask me. Strange little me, right? Matrix, I wish you the best, the absolute best. If you need anybody, if you kind of need somebody to, talk to last minute or anything, please email me. I know that dealing with the system can be frightening. And I hope for the best for you. Yeah, you don't know how you'll do it until you try. It's like you went off of it, but you had to go back on. If I got to do that, I got to do it. But I got to think that I can do a lower dose than I'm doing now. I'm actually dealing with things now. Yeah, I mean, all we can do is try. We'll see if it's possible. And Matrix, you stop at 30 degrees too? Yeah, it just, I just couldn't. I hate the cold as well. I know. And you live in Canada. Or no, wait. I'm thinking of Janet. Misha, where do you live? I forgot. Your ears get cold and your head hurts too. I've never heard of anybody else who had this happen. Oh no, I feel such good company. That's wonderful. So Dr. Joseph, he's very responsive. He's passionate about helping people deep prescribing. Interesting. Well, I will definitely check him out because my doctor's a younger doctor. I got her because my doctor retired, who I'd had for forever. Most wonderful man in the universe. Way too young to retire, and I told him that. But he transferred most of his people to this woman, which I trust his judgment. He was one of the most compassionate people I've ever met, especially in a doctor. He would take the time. If you needed a hug, he'd give you a hug. He always asked about how you were doing mentally, how things were going with your family, because he understood the importance of it. And he was actually one of the prefects at the medical school as well. So I don't know how much she knows or how much experience she has. So it would be good to have a second person. You've posted his channel on the Benzo channel on Discord. Okay, cool. You're an Okie, but not from Muskogee. Hats help if they give you a headache. Yes, I'll wear my hood up if I can, but sometimes that's not enough. I do have like a headband, but it's thick fleece. I used to. A lot of stuff goes missing. I don't know where it goes. Poof into the ether. Have no freaking clue. Matrix, you're in PA. Cool. I was going to say, Sandy's in PA too. How far apart are you guys? Hey, Lisa, how you doing? So glad you make it. Don't worry, we've really just been chit-chatting. I haven't even kind of gotten to what I wanted to talk about today. What I was going to bring up was the fact that it seemed yesterday, especially, a lot of people seem to be off kilter and seem to be their emotions were just they felt it, I woke up yesterday morning and immediately I could feel something was off. As soon as I started walking around and getting my day, I got my coffee and I could just feel the sensation in my chest. And I just, I knew something was going on. I knew it then. And my emotions started going. And I swear it was, I turned on my computer and I started bawling. I wasn't even watching anything in particular. I don't even know if YouTube was pulled up yet because I was going to do some things with the channel. I just was crying to beat the band and sobbing. I mean, sobbing, crying. And I had no idea why. Absolutely no idea why. There wasn't anything that we had talked about on the lifeboat. I hadn't been to need a meeting. We hadn't had our live here. I wasn't talking to a friend about anything. Nothing had gotten specific, had gotten dredged up. I haven't been remembering my dreams lately. I haven't hit or kicked anything in a couple of days that I know of. I haven't woken up screaming or talking to somebody sternly. I was giving somebody a lecture about 4 days ago. I woke up and it's funny because you wake up, at least I do, I wake up with this dream and I'm awake enough that I know that I could stop talking now, but I just kind of keep going. And it's kind of interesting to see what in the world that I'm saying. I keep meaning to write it down, but either my journal's somewhere else or I just don't think of it in the moment. Maybe when I actually get into the habit of doing that, I'll be able to write things down. But I haven't remembered them lately. I've been doing some different self-guided meditation at night because the dreams were so intense. I know I'm working through something and I'm probably working through everything. This is the channel has dredged up stuff, has blown open a few corners that I hadn't thought about in a while. I was speaking actually to Janet earlier, and another SA incident popped into my head that I had totally forgotten about. And it was when I was getting a professional massage, believe it or not. And I was touched incredibly inappropriately. And I'd forgotten about that. I put that away. And I don't know why or what we were talking about, that all of a sudden it just came up. But there's something else that I remembered. So who knows what else is hiding back there? We'll find out, I guess. Kristen, I'm with you. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I feel a lot of times, what I feel it's cathartic, and you feel that release. And Mary Jones, how you doing? So glad you made it. We're just talking about feelings, and for me, how they kind of came out of nowhere, and I couldn't relate them to anything specific. I can't cry for long periods of time, really heavy, or I will get a migraine. So if I can, I try and be cognizant of that. But yesterday, the only thing that stopped me is I had to get on with IT and get some things with my computer fixed. And as it was, we were on for like an hour and 15 minutes, and it's still not 100% fixed. It's software. It's a software issue. And as soon as I was done with that, the feeling didn't go away, but as soon as I was done with that, it was, I think probably within 10 minutes, I was crying again. And I felt it here in my solar plex. Sometimes you'll just feel it in your heart, and maybe even deeper, like in your heart, I call it in my soul then. This was my solar plex, and it just was a ball that was just sitting right under the surface there. And I know it was causing me to cry. It was causing all those tears. Misha, prayers for hubby. What is going on? He's not doing well. Prayers. Keep us updated, okay? Let me know how things go. I'm crossing my fingers and wishing the best. My heart goes out to you. Interesting, Gypsy. You can only cry maybe once or twice every couple of years. You wish you could access deep sorrow. I wonder if as time goes on, if you continue here, and I don't know what you get out of the lifeboat. I'm not sure how that affects you or not, but being here and being able to talk openly about things that other people go, oh, um, really sorry. They don't know how to respond. And here we're talking just like people would on the lifeboat about an addiction, because we know it, we feel it, we understand the trauma that we've each been going through. And maybe as time goes on, you'll start unpacking more stuff. I don't know. I don't know where you are in this process. Being on the phone with IT can bring on tears. It certainly can. And towards the end, I was just about ready to throw my laptop across the room. It was just driving me nuts. Oh, that kind of. He hasn't gotten off the couch in 2 days. Huh. So it's a definite inertia, the depression type thing. Hmm. I I wish I could say, I wish I had advice for you, but those are situations that um, only you can know with everything that's been going on for him. But I definitely hope that he can find something within himself and a will to even just go in a shower. I know that when I'm like that, because believe me, I've been there. If I shower and put on clothes, a lot of times I'll just be in my PJs just because my PJs are just like a t-shirt and yoga pants or whatever. And so it's like I can walk around my house in that as well. But I still feel like I've just come from bed. And so if I put on a different pair of clothes, even if they're yoga pants and a t-shirt, but they're different ones, they're clean ones, and especially if I've showered, for some reason it just makes me feel like a new person, I guess. It gives me a little bit more of a push to do something that is not being a slug-a-bug. That's just me, but we'll keep them in your prayers and keep you in our prayers. That's got to be difficult. Matrix says memory recall is a big beef for me. Violence against me. Yeah, I can completely understand that. I I will say I have been fortunate. I have not experienced a lot of actual violence against me. There's been a few incidents I can't go into quite yet, but I can only imagine. And I say that because my dad had a very short fuse when I was growing up. Um, he yelled about a lot of things. He was either just talking about TV or he was screaming at us. It kind of didn't seem to be any in between. And he always seemed like he was just on that edge, just on that verge. I know there was one time he went to go get his belt, and my mom, thankfully, stepped in and she said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You will not. She allowed him to spank the shit out of me, but I didn't get the belt. Um, I don't know that I would have been able to forgive him for that. I don't I don't know. My heart goes out to you. I hope that you're in therapy and that you have at least have some people to talk to. I understand what you mean. I am too. I mean, I do wear my heart on my sleeve. I don't know how to be any other way. I do take things personally, and a lot has to do with how I grew up. Um, if I've been talking to somebody and I don't hear back from them in a while, and I'm like, oh shit, what did I do? Right? Uh, God, I must have pissed them off somehow. They don't like me anymore. All that catastrophizing goes on in my head, and because it's got to be me, right? I mean, they couldn't have anything else going on in their lives that prevented them from contacting me for one reason or another. I'm really, I've really been trying hard at that to not get upset about people not communicating with me all the time. But that can be hard. Oh, believe me, my doctor, as much as I loved him, there were times I would be sobbing when he came in, and I would cry through the entire appointment. And he'd just hand me Kleenex after Kleenex after Kleenex. Bless you, John. He was such a soft soul. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. You need to be what you need to be. You need to feel those emotions when you feel them. Um, I mean, if you're in line at the grocery store, it might be a little bit inappropriate. You might want to try and gather yourself or go out to the car for a few minutes. But doctor's office, I hope everything's okay, Lisa. Let us know if we can do anything. We can give you some prayers. You only cry watching sappy movies. I can't even watch sappy movies because I will start bawling. It was seen as a weakness when I was growing up, so you didn't show it. Yeah, that certainly, certainly. If I cried, it was in my bedroom, and it was soft enough so no one could hear me, because otherwise I would get my door flung open. Somebody said this morning, I think, the phrase, if you're going to cry, I'll give you something to cry about. Wow, did that like smack me straight in the forehead. I was like, there's a blast from the past. I have not heard that in a while. Um, there's certain movies that I know are going to be so sad, that affect people so much. I refuse to watch them. And I may be missing out on a wonderful movie, but I just can't. I just can't. What did I see in NHL? Who was in the NHL? Oh, he has NHL. I'm not sure what that stands for. We thought he was in remission, but his eye is swelling up again, and he's got a tumor. Oof. Now the chest is getting. Is he refusing to go to the doctor, or is that not an option? Are they just kind of like it's just is what it is? Misha, I'm so sorry. Hey, it may be part of you, but it doesn't mean it has to be a part of you for forever. Maybe if you jack it up to once a year. I'm joking, but I'm not. You know, I hope that being here can open some space for you. It may never, and that may just be a part of you for always. I know there's some people where they had to keep so quiet when they were growing up that it's showing any emotion whatsoever. It took them a lifetime of intense therapy to break out of that. And I'm certainly not going to tell you what to do, but all I can do is pray for you and create a safe space, and hopefully hopefully some of those emotions will come to the surface for you. Oh, Lisa, you are speaking my language. Showers take so much effort, but always work. They do. They do. And isn't that the thing? I don't know about you guys, but my depression will just look at the bathroom and just go, "Ugh, but I have to wash my hair too. And I have long hair and I keep thinking about cutting it short. So then it's like, won't be as big of a deal. Maybe I'll think it's not as big of a deal because it won't take me as long to, wash my hair and condition it and do all that. And then I got to wash my entire body. And it does. It feels like so much work. And there'd be days, there literally, when I was at my worst, there would be days when I would force myself to shower. I would get out and I would be so tired. I would put my robe on and I would lay down in bed. And I would end up taking, like a half an hour nap because it just took everything I had just to do that shower. Sometimes that's the way it is. Izzy, I'm so glad you're here. I am catching up on comments. Oh, Sandy, I'm so sorry. You were a violent crime victim as a child over the years. Some of the aftermath gradually went away, some hasn't. Structures from the lifeboat seems to help. I don't know why. Community, maybe? I think finding a group that speaks your language, that knows what you're going through, where you can talk and you don't have to explain anything. That type of connection, we talk about connection all the time, right? And I do think it's the level of connection. It's a type of connection where we are all here because we have experienced something in common, right? And we all have trauma that has delved out of that. Now that trauma is different for all of us, and it's at different intensities, and it feels differently for each of us. Some of us have dealt with parts and some of us haven't. But we know that in talking even just about our daily lives, that we get it on a level that others just can't. So, I think just having that, I know for me, has been very helpful. Oh, my heart goes out to you, Tree. See, my feelings are still right here. They're not as bad. This doesn't feel quite as, it wasn't knotted, but it was just a strong ball. I feel there's still a little bit residual left. I was trying to deal with that last night doing some chakra stuff, but I fell asleep before we got there. So maybe tonight. I don't know. We'll see. Met some good people lately, so we'll see. It's nice having friends, isn't it? Isn't it? I have gone through periods where I've had friends, and then I've gone through long periods where I haven't. And I think it was probably 6 or 7 years before I met people on the lifeboat that I had a friend. I still don't have anybody in my same city, nobody who I can call and they can kind of come over and we can give a hug. I love my son, but he's not the one who should be giving me a hug when I'm upset. And it just upsets my mom if she gives great hugs, but I don't want to upset her with everything that I'm going through as well. So, eventually we'll meet somebody. But we're all going to take a little trip and meet everybody. Tommy's going to and Reese are going to do their tour, and Jen and I, we've said we want to do ours. Davey, you've got an RV, I think somebody said. I'm there. Absolutely. Your dad would always just rattle the belt, stop you every time. I'm sorry. Yeah, I knew from my father, because he would tell stories. His father used the belt, and he had three boys, and the girl came later. So I was over at a friend's. I was over at a neighbor's house, and we were all kind of getting in trouble. And the dad said, "Go get the belt," and I was like, "Whoa!" I'm like, "I'm out of here. I don't. No. What do you do?" I mean, I'm a little kid, and I told my mom. I don't know if she ever did, because the mom was best friends with my mom. Um, and I realized when I grew up just what kind of a situation that was, that she must have known. She must have known about the violence that went on in that house. And I'm certain that if there wasn't spousal abuse, sexual spousal abuse, there was certainly using porn at inappropriate times around the children. If there was not child abuse, sexual child abuse, there certainly was physical child abuse. And I can't imagine what that is like. Gypsy, you brought up being scared of the disappointment that I caused. This is damaging as a whip. It sure is. It sure is. I believe me. There were different standards, educationally wise, for me and my brother. My brother is an artist, and I think eventually my father realized that my brother was never going to get all A's in his classes. That was me. And so if I came home with an A minus, it was, why wasn't it an A? Now, later on, he tried to explain to me that you always should know what you did wrong so that you don't do it again, type of thing, and that's the military in him. But when you present something and you're really proud of it, and somebody says, "Oh, why wasn't it better?" It just takes the wind out of your sails, doesn't it? That just, I mean, to me, that just says, I'm disappointed in you that you didn't get a better grade. And I always and I always I still carry that with me. I still try and deal with that. Matrix, I know you are who you are, and you are who you are right now at this point. All I can say is I'm hopeful for the future for you. You've got a lot of people now who are willing to help hold you up, and different ways that you can deal with the trauma and with all the things that we've been through. I think that's one of the reasons that I feel like I can try and go off the depression meds. If I didn't have friends, if I hadn't met you guys, I know I absolutely would not be able to do it. I would not be able to do it. Um, I'm so thankful for you guys. And I know that the more that I'm on here, the more that I'm able to connect with you guys, the stronger some friendships grow, and the more I'm able to get new friendships. And, Matrix, I hope you're one. Ugh. My dad made my mom a wooden paddle so she wouldn't hurt her hand when she was hitting me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We all kind of grew up with some effed up lives, didn't we? But that's why we're survivors. We're here. We're here for a reason. We survived. We're not perfect on the other end. We may not be dealing with everything the best, but we're here and we survived. And if you need a hand to hold, I got one. I know that really was really a feeling for me, that I just needed someone. I just wanted somebody here to hold my hand and tell me, get your stuff done, or just to nudge me in that direction, talk to me while I'm doing stuff. I just couldn't do it on my own. I just couldn't make myself get off that couch. I couldn't make myself get off the reading chair, even though I was staring at my desk and the mess that was there and what it represented and everything that was buried in there that I had to do. And it wasn't until I have you guys that I feel like I do have people holding my hand. You're just not physically here. And I got to thinking too, I was journaling yesterday as I was crying, trying to figure out what in the world was going on with me, where all this was coming from. And I started thinking about, some people believe in God, some people don't. Some people are spiritual, just believe in a higher being. Other people don't. Some people just believe in the id, the super id, the whatever, or call it your higher self. And I started thinking about that concept of higher self, whether or not I believed in God or a higher power. I have never felt a connection with a higher power that they were doing something for me or giving me something. I shouldn't say that. I feel little miracles kind of come into my life, or I call it the universe. Who knows? Maybe it's somebody directing it. The universe giving me what I need when I need it, type of thing. Not necessarily when I want it. And some people will say, well, that's just God. But I needed something more tangible. And the concept of maybe relying on my inner self, my higher self, that maybe there was something there that I could do something with. Because I don't believe that I'm a true codependent person. I really don't. But I do definitely enjoy life, enjoy doing things with somebody else much more than I do alone, except reading. I will read for forever. Just leave me alone. But to do activities, to just go out and do them by myself, that's not me. And I'd rather stay at home and read then. And I think because I've been alone so much of my life, adult alone, that's a lot where it stems from. So in terms of trying to get me to do things, I just kind of came with this yesterday, and I'm going to try and think of my higher self holding my hand and telling me to do something, giving me that nudge. Because I know that I need to be happy by myself. And what I mean is no one else can make me happy. I have to do that myself. And I want to get there. I really, 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 really do. I don't want to depend on anybody the rest of my life, because Lord knows when I'm going to have somebody else. I'm not very good at reading these comments as I yabber on. Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Okay. Well, again, Misha, he is in our prayers. I hope that everything will work out, at least that he gets it moving a little bit more. Kristen says, my mom was not unkind, but very uncomfortable with negative emotions. I got the message very early to stuff those feelings and smile at all costs. Yeah. I can't say that my mom was uncomfortable. I guess I never thought about it that way. It Was she uncomfortable with negative emotions? You know, I know she hated it. She hated the arguing. Um, she's much more of a pacifist. But my mom was a hug basically solved everything. My mom wasn't a problem solver. It was she gave hugs, and I love her. I love her to death, and she gave the greatest hugs. And you could always cry on her shoulder, but at the end, you were still where you began. You know, there was, and my dad, if you tried to bring a problem to him, he is an engineer and a Marine, and he needs to know absolutely everything and needs to know this and that. And how do we look at it from this? And how do we look at it from that? And I mean, I asked him one time, I'm like, hey, Dad, just a hypothetical. If you had this or this, which one would you choose? And the conversation that came out of that, my husband at the time was laughing so hard because he was just like, it was like a yes or no question. It's like all you had to say was one or the other. But yeah, he overanalyzes everything. You get to talk about it here, and that's good enough for you. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. And you know that my email is always open. And, you know, through email, I will pass up my phone number. Just, of course, for obvious reasons, don't do it here. Oh, the depression shower hack. It's okay to sit on the shower floor. Oh, Kristen, I love you. Oh my gosh, that is wonderful. That is wonderful. And as long as the floor of my tub was clean, I would say yes. Blah. Gotta make sure my tub's clean. Oh, Gypsy. It's a hard thing. It's a really hard thing to accept because I know you can look at each one and know where they came from. And, you know, I've got my share of them as well. I haven't gotten them all covered up by tattoos. Not yet. I do have my back surgery scar, which I want to get covered up, only because it's a really great spot for this particular tattoo that I want. It's the right size and everything. But, you know, when I was at my heaviest, I didn't want to get in the shower. I didn't want to touch myself. I didn't want to touch all of the rolls. I didn't want to feel that I was uncomfortable in my skin. I did not like it all. And wow, what it takes for us to get to self-acceptance of our bodies, right? Of what they look like. People can look at me one way and give me compliments and say things, and I don't see it at all. At all. That's how I grew up, right? I grew up not believing that I was pretty or that I could do anything beyond being book smart and taking tests. So self-acceptance, and I think especially for women, because we are so heavily criticized in the media by others, even other women, they could be really cruel. So I understand it. I certainly understand it. And best that I can say is, and you've probably heard it all before, but each of those made you who you are today. And some of that stuff we don't like who it made us, right? Because got a shitload of baggage along with it. But you're a survivor, and those all show that you are surviving and that you're here, you're living. I think each and every one of us are living more and more, and the more connections that we make. I feel less like an automaton, just kind of going through my day, getting the least amount done that I can, just to do it, you know. And that connection is doing it, at least for me, you know. I still have my days where I wonder when everyone's going to disappear. Um, when somebody's going to go, just kidding, ha, making fun of me and then not be my friend, you know. A lot of that growing up. So a lot of those old fears, they hang on, don't they? They hang on. And I had that happen to me as an adult, actually. Not quite the same way, but sweetheart, Matrix, we know you're not looking for sympathy. We give it to you because we understand how you feel. It's not given out of pity. We sympathize because we understand what you're going through. And that is the best thing about this place, is you don't have to say a whole lot for us to understand. So I hope that you keep coming back. You're not looking for, but maybe me telling someone what happens to me, their life might seem so bad. You know, I had this talk today with somebody about comparing traumas and how there's always somebody who had it worse, you know? There always will be. You think you had it horrible, you think your life was bad, and then I think of Joel on Surviving the Survivor, of his mom being a Holocaust survivor, and people who survived the concentration camps. There's always going to be somebody who has it worse. But that does not mean that your pain, your trauma is any less than anybody else's, because it affects you. This is the life that you led. These are the scars that you hold. So I encourage each and every one of you not to trauma compare. It is what it is. Some people can endure more than others. Some people, they may have had X, Y, and Z trauma, but if they had had your trauma, they may have broken. And yet you survived, because we're all individuals. We're all different people. So your trauma is not any less than anybody else's. And I want each and every one of you to remember that. And there is never going to be any trauma comparison. You can say whatever you want. You can tell your story. If it's absolutely horrible, if it's, objectively just mind-blowing, to something that seems like it's not so much, it's all you. It's all that person. And there's never going to be any of this, well, that wasn't so bad. If I hear any of those type of comments, we're going to have an issue. And we'll have a chat. And if it doesn't change, you'll be out. Because I won't put up with that. We're each here because we hurt. We hurt because of something that was done to us as a child or as an adult, in some way, shape, or form. That trauma is real and it's yours. And that's all I got to say about that right now. Where in real life can you talk about your trauma? Nowhere. Yeah, I mean, unless you have a best friend or a spouse or, cousin or whatever, sister, somebody you're extremely close to, it's not something you bring up. There were my husbands each knew that I was SA, but they didn't know the details. Didn't want to know the details. I tell the details here so that, one, it's out there, it's real, and it forces me to address it. It really forces me to look at it. Now, some people, you don't remember all the pieces. I have a different view than some therapists that you have to remember all of it. Maybe there's some things going on with that person that I don't understand, and there is a real reason why they need to break through a block. But I don't think forcing memories, I don't think that that's the way to go about it. I think a neuroscientist once said that our brains remember things and put pieces together when there's been enough time and space from that event that it feels safe to deal with that issue. So I would say, if there's stuff that you're blocking out and then there's pieces that you still remember, you still got a lot of stuff that you can work on without having to go to wherever you've got a block. That's my personal opinion. I'm not a licensed therapist, obviously, and I say, listen to your therapist or get a new one. Those are your options, right? Yeah, I mean, we kind of talk about trauma on some other channels, right? But it's not the main thing that we talk about. Trust is a huge thing for me too. I would bet you a dime to a dollar that for nearly all of us, we have trust issues in one way or another. And I will go as far to say that trusting too easily is a trust issue as well. But I'm gonna bet that we all have an issue with that. Matrix, please email me. I'd love to talk to you some more. I really would. So email me, survivingtogether@gmail.com. No spaces to talk about in day-to-day. You got here. And like I said, if we need to add more, even if it's I only got 5 people every day. But if you guys need that, if you need another one of these, because you need another place to talk or need it more often, I am happy to add more. Okay? All you got to do is reach out and tell me. So please communicate with me. Dave says, with me, drama, yes, we'll talk to you. Lord knows that I do. Yeah, I would as well. I mean, I haven't been able to afford therapy for forever, so you guys are my therapy. The lifeboat's my therapy in regards to addiction. Need meetings my therapy when I just need to word puke something, just an issue that's bugging me or something that I need another opinion on. That's the thing that kills me, is how expensive therapy is. Ugh. You certainly can. We are incredibly inappropriate. Teresa's waiting for the Davy Road Tour. Absolutely. We're going to pick up people as we go. I say we because, I'm going to be in that RV as soon as possible. My son graduates and I can work from anywhere. So sorry, Matrix. See, it's not pity, it's sympathy. We understand. Just like I didn't have the physical violence, I had the yelling violence. And I call it yelling violence. Emotional abuse, mental abuse, but it is yelling violence because, we're talking shake the rafters yelling, you know? Um, I always was on pins and needles, just waiting for him to absolutely snap. And my mom wasn't always there. So I'm really, 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 really sorry. I don't have one. Me, no therapist. Me, my journal, and all you guys. My journal sometimes. I'm trying. I'm really trying to get better at it. I really am. My issue is when I start writing, I write for days. Literally, it'll be an hour and a half later, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I still have more to write. It just takes up so much time. I haven't learned how to journal efficiently, if that's such a thing. I don't know. You always got us. You've always got us. Woohoo! You have an RV. He works from home and on the road, so we shall see. Rock on. Rock on. Can you drive the RV? Does he have to come? Just saying. He's got things to do. Don't have to coordinate. Yeah. See, this is it. This is the insurance would pay for 6 visits a year. Okay, so I get to see somebody every other month? How the hell am I going to work through anything every other month? Makes no sense. I need to see somebody once or twice a week. It just boggles my freaking mind. Oh, geez, oh, Pete's. I'm going to say, Misha, you're talking about therapists? Your last one abandoned you? Issues of abandonment. I'm there with you. Huge abandonment issues. Definitely. Yeah. And this is Janet, you are so right. I don't know how many therapists I went through when I was growing up because I've been in and out since I was 13. And finding somebody who you clicked with, who either A, got what you were talking about, B, could talk back to you in a way that it made sense, didn't seem condescending, didn't seem, I don't want to say standoffish, but a lot of what I got, it was I can't tell you what to do. You have to figure out what to do. And it's like, no, that's why I came to you. I can't figure out what to do. I don't know. I don't want you to guide me someplace. I need you to tell me what to do. Okay. At least tell me what's right or what's wrong, or, I need better than let's try and make you get there on your own. I don't know if that was a thing for a while, but it seemed that I just could not find anybody who would deal with something directly. Because maybe that's a good way. Yeah, and you do. You start with one and you try them until you like, until you find one you like. Aren't we all? Aren't we all, Matrix? We're all trying to pull ourselves up. I had to pull my head out of the sand or out of my ass, whichever one you want to do. And it's not easy. And we tumble down. and we're going to stumble and we're going to fall. And hopefully when we do and it feels like we can't get back up, that there's going to be people here there for you. People that there for me this time. I don't have to try and scrape myself up off the floor by myself. A word from you guys, feels like a hand up. And you don't, maybe you do. I mean, you know what that means because we do it for each other. That's what this is about. Okay, you've got mail. I saw something about Davey saying, so Ontario first stop? Hell no. Oh, I'm sorry. Kiss, I'm sorry. She's got to stop by Michigan and pick me and Jen up first. Then we can hop over to Ontario. Right across the border. So, no worries. He is not closest. Are we going to have to go through this again? We're going Grand Rapids, Detroit, Ontario. Okay? Just saying. Seriously, I can't wait to meet some of you guys. It's been great seeing some of you on Skype or Zoom or, if you've come on here. But to meet you guys in person, it would just be awesome. It would just be so awesome. I missed something. Not for me. You can't make me go back. I'm not sure what I missed there. Normal is a setting on a dryer. There you go. There you go. Because we all are unique. What can you say? Normal. Okay, we can say the average mean of the spectrum of responses. Most people did this. Because you're on this way or this way, it means you're abnormal. No, you're just a little different. Right? And that's a good thing. I am trying to drink more water. Believe me, Pure Zero, they should come on and be a sponsor because I love their water pitcher. Oh my gosh, does it frickin' work. My son brought home a tester from school, a water tester. It tested at 2. So when they mean Pure Zero, they mean it. It tastes like Fiji water. I don't know if you guys have your favorite water. Dasani would be kind of on this one. Aquafina would kind of be on this end. And Fiji kind of goes Evian Fiji for me, but Fiji is like the bomb. That's what this tastes for me. Just good. We made that choice to find our better. We all deserve that. We do, Misha. We do. We are all working hard in our own ways with our own stuff. And being here, it means the world to me. And hopefully it means the world to you guys that, you've got other people. And connect outside of here. Please. And connect with me. You guys got my email? Find me through that. And we'll find other ways to talk too. And again, if we need to put this on, and even if it's only for half an hour, just because you want a time where 6 people need to come on and just kind of blow off steam for a little bit, or just feel and be in the same space and talking with people, because not everyone's on Discord or not on the same time and all that kind of stuff. I am happy to add more lives. Absolutely happy to. So please, if you feel you need it, talk to me about it, okay? Because you may not be the only one. It has been said that hugs can be felt around the world. Lots of spirit hugs. Thank you, Misha. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As much as I want somebody here in my same town to give me a physical hug, I do feel it from you guys. I do feel the love. It is a kindredness that is unlike anything else I've ever felt. Because I know a lot of us have struggled with addiction issues as well. And having so much of that, of roots of our trauma in common, I just think there's a bond that's very strong because of that. So Cymbalta really helped you. Now you can get out of bed at least. I thought I was better too many times. I know that, but I know that feeling, Lisa. Oh my gosh. Yes. They added Cymbalta to my Wellbutrin and I did feel better, and I do, but I needed this connection to put me through that final, push to actually get me out of the couch, to get me going, to kick that inertia. And I needed to kick the pot habit because that just made my inertia worse, right? I did not want to move. It didn't matter whether it was indica. I still didn't want to move. Izzy, I'm sorry. And you're not the first one to tell me that a parent took the money to do something else with. I unfortunately wasn't able to save for my son, so we're going to try really hard in a gap year to save up. I think he's decided he might want to do still welding, still in the trades, but do a program for it. So we're going to try. We're going to try. You're a Gen Xer too. I think a lot of us are Gen X. And, it said we're the first generation who was stood up and said, this isn't right. This can't happen. But there's a lot of us who grew up not feeling comfortable doing that, or, would get hurt verbally or physically if we did. So we do still keep things in. Let's start breaking that here. Anything you need to talk about, anything. There's nothing off limits here. We we share so much in terms of stuff in common, topics and situations that just make other people cringe, that we can sit here and just talk about it just like this, and we're all nodding our heads going, uh-huh. So there is no need to hold it in here, So if you can't afford a therapist, journaling's not quite doing it for you, try it. Let it out here. We're more than happy to listen. And it takes time. I'm not saying it's going to happen, today or tomorrow or, next live, but, try. At Daybor? Who's Daybor? Did you mean Davey? People go, oh, remember your first love? It wasn't great like that, but just really traumatic. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We're just going to avoid that whole Father's Day celebration thing. I love my father, and I do. I love my father, but I still have a lot of issues that I need to work through. Feeling is every day avoided people so they don't get me. Yeah, but we toddler typo. Yeah, I totally understand that. Totally understand that. I got burned so many times trying to make friends, that eventually I just, I stopped trying. If somebody, came near and was nice, I might be nice back, but I held them at a distance because I didn't want to get hurt again. It just, for me, nothing cut deeper, because that was the one thing I always wanted growing up, was a friend who, that best friend, you see in the movies, or you read about in the books. And I moved so much, I could never have that stability of having, a long-term friend like that. And I was always the new kid. So, it takes time to develop relationships. There was never anybody who I just clicked with automatically who was, around. So I never got that. I never got that. So I completely understand. Don't ask you about your first time trauma. Is not cut and paste like memories. No, it's not. No, it's not. I just want to admit, yeah, Davey's fluent and typoese. I just want to make sure that so it wasn't somebody new who I didn't know and I didn't see. So that's why I was like pausing for a second just to make sure. And somebody's still working. Oh my Lord. Thank y'all. Y'all get me in the all weird and wonky. Yeah. We're all strange in our own little ways. I told you I'm quirky. Very quirky. It starts with the want. And I'm not sure what you're referring to. It's hard when you're not quite following the chat and you're talking. That may be the sharing. I'm not sure. But yeah, we all have to want to get better, want to get in that shower, want to have somebody kick our ass so that we do. It's can get real difficult. Okay, what is going on? A post someone put up blew my mind. That moment you burst into tears in your room and you realize that no one knows how unhappy you are. The echoes of that are so loud. To feel fear of someone hearing me cry yet nobody there. Yeah. Knowing that no matter how loud you are, there's nobody on the other side to come get you. I feel that. I do. I know. You eat, Davy. You eat. And Janet, I'm glad that I'm glad it's the higher self thing is a concept that I'm gonna keep thinking about and working on, and I'll let you know how it works for me. I know. Did someone say pie? It's just like it's not fair. There has been a mini bunk cake in my fridge for like a week. Now, I'm going to go with it's going to go bad if someone doesn't eat it. Because I think that's probably true, right? It's my son's girlfriend's, technically. They went out and got them. It's nothing but bunts. cake store. There's $7 for these itty bitty, bunk cakes that I can eat in a standing session in 15 minutes. Not fair with all those calories, and they're really not fair. But yeah, it's gonna have to go soon. That's all I got to say about that. Yeah, Gen X. What generation are you, Kristen? You the one below us then? Yep, we were the first latchkey kids, right? I know that. I remember hearing the phrase and, my mom going to work. That was my second sip of wine. You can tell alcohol was not my drug of choice. Yeah, try this on for size. It is heartbreaking to think about it. And it was true for a lot of us, right? The last latchkey kids. My mom would try not to work too much when we were younger, too much past like 3, But as we got older, she worked, till 5, or she may work a 12 to 9 then, or, whatever. And so, yeah, we were alone until my dad got home, which who knows when that was going to be. So it was just me and my brother. And I distinctly remember, I think I was like 13 or 14, because I think I was like a freshman in high school. My brother was a senior. And yeah, it must have been. We were at the same school. And we had just gotten home. My brother's sitting on the couch, and I'm going off on so this happened and that's happened and so said that happened. And finally he went, whoa, stop. And I was like, what? He goes, do I know any of these people? I'm like, I don't know. I think they're probably mostly freshmen. Do you know any freshmen? He's like, no, I don't. So why would I care? I took myself upstairs at that moment. So, yeah. No one there to hear you cry. But we're all here for each other now. See, I just got to get somebody over here to go with me to the tattoo shop. I'm not going alone. But I have 1, possibly 2, possibly 3 that I'm thinking about getting. Definitely 1. Then I keep putting it off going, I should save that money. I should put that somewhere else. But I think I'm finally going to go, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to take some of this money that I made for my side job, and I'm going to get it. I can't imagine it's going to be more than $50 for it anyway. So I think a lot of us are covered in tattoos. I think I may be one of the only ones who does not have any tattoos. I don't even have my ears pierced, guys. I wanted my ears pierced in 4th grade so bad. Oh my gosh. Everybody had their ears pierced and was putting different things in. And I begged my parents. I begged and begged and begged and begged and begged and begged. My dad said, when you're in 6th grade, if you still want your ears pierced, I'll let you do it. Because by then I'd be, 12? No, not quite that old, but 6th grade came, and they're like, do you want your ears pierced? And at that point I went, I hadn't made it. It was in Iowa, guys. It was Iowa. I hadn't made any friends, so it's not like I had anybody to show them off to. So it just seemed like a lot of effort for no gain at that point in time. I didn't have anyone to go to the mall with or shop for earrings or anything, so I didn't get them. And after that, I'm not an accessory person in general. I have 1 ring that I wear, My son got this. I can't even do this. My son got this for me. Gosh, about 5 years ago, maybe, for Christmas. So I wear that, and I wear my, I have my chaim, and I have a necklace that my son's girlfriend gave me. A little cubic zirconium. And that's about it that I wear on a regular basis. And I'm not a accessories person, so I never got it done. But for my 30th birthday, I got my belly button pierced, and damn, I looked good. I'll tell you, I looked good. Then I took it out for my pregnancy, and a guy actually asked me why one time. I literally could not speak. I was like, did you not think this through, or do you just not get it? He felt a little dumb after I explained it. But, yeah. I have made a ton of mistakes. I continue to make mistakes. I had to apologize to my son for all the things that I do that make it seem like I don't think he's as important. He's very important to me, but I know I don't show it beyond telling him I love him and giving him a place to live. We don't go out and do things together. We don't, I don't cook dinner. So I'm still making mistakes on the daily. And boy, have I made them over my years. I don't think we'd be human. We certainly wouldn't be survivors. The best compliment was from my daughter when she graduated from paratrooper school. She said, "Mom, when I thought I couldn't do it, I thought of your strength." Oh, Gypsy. Okay, you're going to make me cry. uh, I that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. See, I told you, you're a survivor, and it takes strength to survive what we have been through, what our lives have done to us. That's incredible. Kristen, we have enough space for all of you. You all can share. I have all the time in the world for you guys. So whether it is here on a live stream, whether it is emailing me, whether it's on Discord, there's always space. So I never want you to feel like that. I never want you to feel like that again. You may, I'm not saying you're not going to, but I don't want you to. There are enough people who want to listen and enough opportunities. Please, if you want to share, do so. Reach out. We love you. We love you. You're so right, Misha. The trauma we couldn't control, what we do with the trauma, that is what makes us. The trauma we couldn't control molded us in one particular way, right? Then when we decide that we're going to do something about where we are in life, and we decide that we want to deal with that trauma and heal from that trauma, then we become a new person, a better version of ourselves. And I really hope, I heard someone say once that healing from trauma brings out who you should have been all along. So were it not for the trauma, this is who you would have been. This is what you would have grown into. And I think about that, and it really makes my mind race, because I think, gosh, I still have a lot of trauma to heal from, but what could I be? What would I have been? What is waiting for me when I heal from all of this? I don't know. I hope that it's a caring, compassionate, kind person. I hope it's somebody with more confidence in social situations. It's probably my biggest. See, Davey's got it. Not at all, Kristen. We are here. Yep. And we're all Humpty Dumpty in our same way, trying to put our pieces back together. We've all broken. The trauma, just thinking about what I just said, the trauma broke who we should have been. And now we have to heal from all of that trauma to put ourselves back together again, to be the person we should have been all along. And I, for one, cannot wait to see who we should have been, to see the people that we are on the other side of this. Now, may mean I've known you for 20 years, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to see. We're going to get through this, guys. We're going to get through this. You're right. Tree, we all deserve to be heard. We all need to be heard. I hope. Empathy you will take. Should I get empathy and sympathy? I thought sympathy was because you knew you had been there, and empathy was just feeling what somebody else could feel, but not because you had been there yourself or experienced something yourself. I always get the two mixed up. So empathy, sympathy, whichever one's the one, because we experienced something. And even if we haven't, then we do have empathy for you. Be spirit. I want to find my spirit animal. There's some guided meditations that's about finding your spirit guide. And that would be really interesting. Does anybody else know who their spirit animal is? If you do, put it up. Oh, I'd love to know that. I'm assuming you're talking about your trauma. Yeah. That was my first husband. I was young. I mean, we started dating when I was 16, and that was a huge issue for me. Wow, that was a really hard conversation, wasn't it? That was a fun one. I'm sorry, Lisa. I understand. My second marriage was a lot like that. Oh, Matrix, do I feel you? Literally, I have been stuck for 10 years. Absolutely stuck. Before that, I was like this, but I fell apart at 40. And I don't think I've really started putting things back, or trying to, until well recently. And you know what? I think that the 6 to 8 months before I got on the lifeboat, which is probably maybe 4 months ago now, was my heaviest usage of weed every day, sometimes during the morning. Um, I think I look back and I wonder, why did I start doing it so much? Why was it so heavy? And I think it's because the trauma that I'd been holding back for so long, I couldn't hold back any longer. It was coming to the surface whether I wanted it to or not. But there were certain things going on around me that were forcing the issue a little bit. And I still wasn't ready to deal with it. And I think that's why my usage really increased. And when I finally made the decision to quit, I had to make the decision that I was going to be dealing with my trauma as well. So it was kind of weird the way it all happened for me. Yeah, one of the you're not a licensed therapist, but you play one on the internet. Um, you know, I'm laughing so much at that I just blew what I was going to say. I can't remember now. I'll try and remember. But yeah, I feel you. I've been stuck for so long. But you guys are really helping me get unstuck. Oh, Lisa, I'm glad. I'm glad. Like I said, anytime you guys need this more, we'll do it more. You just need to reach out to somebody. Let us know. You can always reach me at my email. And I know you got all the people on the boat, but not all the people on the boat share this. Yeah, sliding scale therapy rates. It, not everyone does it, and it's for me in my area. It's kind of become farther and fewer between the people who will take you with no insurance and will do a sliding scale, or will even take state insurance in the first place. One, they authorize so few visits. I think most therapists don't feel in good conscience that they can take you on as a patient and do anything to help you, because 6 weeks, do you cram it all into 6 weeks then? Do you try and do it every other week? Get you 3 months then. It's it's real difficult. So yeah, some therapists will offer it. You just really depends. Woohoo! The RV has its Wi-Fi. See, I can work from anywhere. That's right. You are who you are. Everything's part of it. You can't change it, but you can control how you survive, and you can control how you live. What I said is I survived for a long time, but I wasn't living. I was alive, but I wasn't living, and I want to live my life. I missed out on so much. I missed out on my kid growing up. Really, I did. Tried to be there as much as I could, but I know it wasn't near enough. And now I've lost that. I'm never going to get a second chance at that. The one thing that I saving grace is my son knows how much I love him. We always say, I love you. So many times a day. No worries. No worries. Bye-bye. I am so far behind in the comments. I'm so far behind. Yes, Michigan's on the way. See, I told you. Now you're getting your geography down. Just took a little while, but okay. It'd be quicker to go up to Sault Ste. Marie. Huh. Interesting. Okay, we'll have to get the map out. I missed something here. We had a soda stream. The kids died doing it for like 6 weeks. And then the thing sat. But I'll tell you, the icy maker, holy moly, has that thing gotten a workout. He takes it to every party he goes to, because it's only like this big, but it makes great ices, and they absolutely love it. We'll come to you too, Dana. We will come to you. Gen X, the feral, the feral generation. Yep. We were kind of left to go do whatever, right? Your dad and you, oil and water. Yeah. I feel you 100%. Lamented for years that I can't make old friends. I feel like you guys are all old friends, though. Thank you. I second that, Gypsy. I second that. Yeah. I'm never going to have friends that I've known since college, right? Or from high school. But you guys feel like it because of the bond that we share. And I am so grateful. So incredibly grateful. That was one of the reasons it was so important to me to live in the school district that we started in. And we started in a well-to-do area because it's where my parents lived, and we moved in with them after the divorce. So as a single mom, it's been kind of rough to afford to live in this area, but I wanted my son to have the opportunity to grow up with the same kids. And he's had the same best friends since kindergarten. And that means the world to me. It makes all my sacrifices feel worth it. I don't know how long they'll stay friends. I don't know if they'll stay in touch after. I hope that they do. I hope that 20 years from now they're still friends. But if not, he had that stability growing up of always having the same group of friends. And that means a lot. It means a lot for me. You should. I don't know if you write in a journal, start dabbling there. Ideas for song lyrics, a couple of verses of a poem. You don't have to sit down with a blank page and think, okay, now I'm going to do this. You can start small if you want, but you should. If you feel like that in there, do it. Once I get stronger walking, because walking's enough for me right now around the block, which is so sad to say, but I really want to get back into Taekwondo. I really do. I don't know where, because we're kind of at a lack of schools here, which in such a big, fairly decent sized city, you would think that wouldn't be the case. But I definitely want to try that again. So if you feel it, do it. I am so sorry. If my if my glass of wine on here has been bad for you or you've felt uncomfortable with that, please, 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 please let me know. If you don't want to let me know here, let me know in an email, okay? Because I never want to do anything that makes you uncomfortable. Your ears were pierced before you went home from the hospital. Oh my Lord. I mean, I've seen babies with them, but not that. Do you know why it was so important to your mom or your mom's family? I'm just so curious. Oh my God, just like I qualify for Medicare this year. I got stuff from ARP. I mean, seriously, if that doesn't make you feel old, oh my Lord. So glad you didn't. So glad you didn't. I do really love that Billy Joel song, though. I got to tell you that much. Not for lack of trying. Didn't we all in some ways? Yeah. Didn't we all? Life's a bitch, then you marry one. Sometimes. Somebody once told me the world is gonna own me. I like that one too. Life of the party. You're in the middle of nowhere for a reason. You want your girl to have lifelong friends. Yeah, I get it. 100%. It was just so important to me. You know, I try to use humor to disarm people. And you know, when I'm talking to people directly, they're like, "You're funny." And I'm like, "I know." I just sometimes like I'll get in the chats or whatever, and my brain just blanks. Everybody's making these funny comments, and I'm just like, I can't think of anything funny to say. But I'm quipping them out left and right when you're talking to me on the phone. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Use humor to make yourself giggle. You do. You do. You're the goofiest. You are the goofiest. And I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you that you've been sober off alcohol. That's just wonderful. I know, Davey, you can make me laugh anytime. You can always make me. You slay it at sales? I do too. Oh my gosh. Oh, wait. I think you're talking about sales like being a salesperson, right? I'm going to bet I thought you were like, finding the sales, finding the deals. That's me. Sales, I suck. Okay, yeah. I got that one wrong. I don't like pushing things on people, that's why I didn't go into private practice. I didn't want to feel like I was always having to pass my business card out, or going to the bar luncheons and glad handing with people just to try and network with other lawyers so that they might refer work to me. It just, that whole way of doing things just did not appeal to me. So instead, I do what I do. I make crap, but I'm much happier doing it than being in sales like that. Oh, I remember what I was going to tell you guys. I'm pissed. I'm so freaking pissed off on my son's behalf. I said to him today, I go, "You haven't subbed it for my channel yet, have you?" I'm like, "We're so close to 100. I'm so close. Wouldn't you guys just, I had to have a goal, right?" So I'm like, "You have to sub. Tell your friends. Why don't you say?" He goes, "Oh, no, 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 no." I go, "Why? Just why? Just have them sub. I don't care if they don't watch. I prefer that they don't watch. not your friend's material, but you can just sub, get me over that 100, just make me feel good, right? And I was half joking, but he's like, no, I tried that once and they all laughed at me. They laughed at you? Why in God's name would they laugh at you? He said, because my mom's got a YouTube channel. I'm like, did you tell them what the channel was about? It's not like I'm baking cookies. He's like, yeah, but they just thought it was funny that you had a YouTube channel, and it went around the whole chat and I got made fun of. And I was like, I'm so sorry, dear. Kids absolutely suck. Absolutely suck. I just was I'm so mad. Yeah, I did. I just know it wasn't that no, he tried actually. And they were little punk asses laughing because it's a YouTube channel. It's a YouTube channel that's helping people on a serious subject. My God. So pissed. Now I'm irritated again. Oh, I know, right? Good thing she forgot. I'm not sure. You guys are talking about something else, I think. I know. Kids are mean, aren't they? That's what I said. I said, kids suck. He's like, I am a kid. And I said, I know, but you're my child, so you don't suck. Not all the time, anyway. You're talking about me. It's a good thing. Good thing I forgot about being pissed. Yeah. I was pissed on his behalf. And I wanted to tell you guys about that because it was about the channel. And I was just, yeah, they haven't developed their brains yet. Totally. I know, especially the guys. 25, and that's why I keep telling my son. He's like, I think I might try, name a drug or whatever. And I'm just like, dude, wait till you're 25. At least get your brain a chance to totally develop. And then if you still want to, it's kind of like the earring thing, right? Like my dad, if you still want to, then knock yourself out, but give your brain a chance to, at least fully develop. This is my line. This is my line for him. Hopefully I don't know, who knows if he'll take the advice or not, but he's a pretty good kid in that regard. But he sees his dad. He knows what's alcohol has done to his dad. And that's been a real eye opener for him. So I think that, and his girlfriend's father was murdered in a drug deal gone bad. So I think between the two of them, drugs and alcohol are kind of off limits. They see the harm that it's caused. Not to say that they haven't probably dabbled, but they don't do it all the time. So, oh my gosh, your cousin who triggered a schizophrenia, smoking grass in his youth. Now, here's my question: would it have gotten triggered eventually anyway? Because I know that most people, it's like under 25 or something like that, right? They're 18 to 25, somewhere in there. It's generally a real young thing. I know that homeless people can develop it because not having consistent sleep and not having enough sleep, enough days in a row, can cause you to go schizophrenic. He was predisposed. That is just awful, but smoking woke it up. Yeah, that makes you wonder then, doesn't it? Would it have woken up regardless or not? They see, and that's my son. He's predisposed to alcoholism. he is going to be if he was to drink, he'd be a third or fourth generation alcoholic. I'm not sure about my ex's grandfather. So he definitely has the gene, 100%. And I've talked to him about that since he could, understand, old enough to drink or try and dabble, because it was so important to me that he understood that, like we talk about, some people, I've had a drink sitting here and I've had 2 sips off of it. It's not an issue for me, and I don't see it ever being an issue for me. But the same couldn't be said for him if he started drinking on the regular, a beer after work every day or something like that. It's just different, And so, yeah, he's had to know that he's predisposed, and that's fine. That's fine. I mean, the smoking since you're 13, I mean, I get it and I understand it. I think we all wish that maybe we'd put it off a little bit, but you do what you do. If it helps you cope now, if it's not disturbing your daily life, like say the alcohol was, okay. I couldn't. I was one of those few people who were addicted to it. Because when I went off of it, man, and I went off of it several times, my emotions were flipping everywhere. It was like going off cigarettes for me. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have smoked and have gone off cigarettes and have just had that anger issue. Like your emotions are just on the surface and you just like break at any little thing. That's how it was with me. That's how it was with me. If he hadn't smoked that, he wouldn't have been. Maybe, maybe not. I think maybe not, because there could have been something else in his life that triggered it. I know that they're almost wondering about certain chemicals that we have, that have just been part of our food sources, and because they don't fully understand it, so they don't quite know how it always gets tripped, because there's a lot of people who they don't smoke, they don't do any of that stuff, and they still develop it. So yeah, you can't kill yourself with it, and I'm glad you never succeeded in anything else, Matrix. I'm glad. And we're all glad you're here. Yeah, I think all of us that we deal with significant trauma compartmentalize. I had a friend ask me once who knew that I was SA, how I could work in the rape unit. I was interning in the rape unit in Philadelphia at the time. And it comes down to that compartmentalization. On the one hand, you could understand where they're coming from and what they're going through, but it's their feelings, not yours, because yours are put away, at least for me, they were put away in a nice little box that was locked up in the back of my head. So they weren't my feelings I was dealing with. As long as they're somebody else's, that's okay. So that's why I could be a victim advocate when the people were going for the forensic examinations, because it wasn't me. It wasn't me. You're glad it worked from some folks. You're not against it. Just something you got to keep in mind when you're young. You got to know your family history, which is why we talk to our kids. Absolutely. Education, right? Education, everything, seriously, it comes down to education. You got to know about your history. You got to know about your genes. You got to know what you're predisposed to. You need to know that your brain's not fully developed until you're 25. I think it's really helped my son because he can look at his friends sometimes. I say friends loosely. It's just kind of the grouping that he's with some of the people and the stupid stuff that they do. And he's like, yeah, I just let them do it. He goes, I may want to do it, but I see them and then I see what trouble they get in or how they hurt themselves or, whatever that may be. And he's like, it's just enough to watch, which as a parent, I'm thankful for. I'm so thankful. And so we talked to him about everything, yeah, we talked to him about how to treat women and we talked to them about how, we talked to him about SA and drugs and, all the stuff. But more than anything, I think we need to talk to him about just life, everyday life. What are you going to deal with after school? After he graduates from high school, what kind of things are going to come your way now that you're an adult? I didn't have anybody who taught me that. My whole thing was I was to go to college and get an education, college degree. That was what my goal was. That's what was set for me and expected of me. Nobody told me what to do after that. I had no clue, none whatsoever. I went through college. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I loved my college, absolutely loved my college. I would say anybody in the universe to go there, but I had no clue as to what to do afterwards. I didn't know how to navigate life. And I was married to somebody who was just pretty much just as clueless, So I think kids are going to do stupid stuff. Predisposed to sex. I am as well. I've lost a lot of it, but it is starting to come back out now with certain people as I talk. I think it will come out a little bit more. I'm hoping. Bye, Davey. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Sounds like a plan. You must still be a kid then. So you didn't make it out of high school. You're surviving now, right? Trying to live. Some of us don't, especially if you don't have a support system. If your home life is not good, you don't have people who think education is important, think you are important. Makes it a lot easier, doesn't it? I don't know what that's like, only because education was like the one thing that was important to my dad above anything else. Education. He was the first and only person in his family to go to college for a long, long time until his baby sister decided, I think she got a degree. And I think one of his brothers went back and got some sort of degree. But he was the only one to go to a 4-year college like that. So my brother and I were expected to go to college. My brother's like, I'm an artist. He's like, well, you're going to go to art school then. So my brother went to art school. It was just, you're going to college. So that was set out for me from the time that I could understand what, school was about. That was where I was to go. And I just didn't know anything about afterwards. I wasn't taught any life lessons. They thought they were teaching me, my dad, what he said was when I was going off to college, he said, well, you're 18 now, almost. And I've tried to teach you right from wrong. And if you haven't learned by now, you're not going to. That's what he said. You're standing in the garage. I remember like it was yesterday. But just teaching somebody right from wrong and having a moral compass does not mean you're going to be successful in life or know how to navigate life. So I wish I would have had a little more guidance in that area. Not that I'm real great at it, but I'm gonna try to do that for my son. You went into the Navy and got help with it there. Wonderful. Wonderful. Your dad's family was farmers. So it wasn't top in their minds. And especially if you had any sort of abuse at home, it doesn't make you want to stick around. Can completely understand that. And the Navy, not a bad choice. I come from a full family of Marines. One Navy, one Army, no Air Force. The only one we're missing. Bye, Chris. We're getting down to the nitty. Well, you had a lot of reasons to be. You had a lot of reasons to be, it sounds like. I'm going to guess that a lot of that was taken out of you or redirected when you got into the Navy. I'm guessing. Don't know. I do know some very angry soldiers, however, so I know that it's possible you can go in there and still be a very angry person. Oof. I wish you the best. Night. We've been going for over 2 hours anyway, so I think I'm going to wrap it up. We got people bailing left and right. But I want each and every one of you to know, please, and remember, I hear you, I see you, and I believe you. We've all suffered SA trauma. And I think we've all had somebody in our lives who either didn't hear us, didn't see us, or didn't believe us. I do, and we do here. Please remember, you are valuable, you are worthy, and you are loved. Above all. Here we're surviving together, never alone. So hugs and love. Night, guys. Take care. And I'll probably see most of you tomorrow. Have a good one. Thanks for being with me tonight.